2012 Volkswagen Sharan. This car has failed MOT on anti-roll bar link at the back. This is our back suspension. When you're replacing anti-roll bar link, either front or back, it's important to keep both wheels off the ground so there is no pressure on anti-roll bar. And obviously, and of course, I strongly recommend, I would say insist to use stands for safety. Don't rely just on jacks on their own. So we put stands on the rear subframe and we have two jacks. We might use one of those jacks to raise this suspension if we need to align anti-roll bar link. So let's go and find where it is. And this is the one. It has a joint here and it has a ball joint over there. So it has nut and bolt holding this one. This is bushing, this is not a ball joint, and the top one is a ball joint, and it comes out on the other side, which is just through here. So that's how it works. Two nuts, we're gonna replace it. Of course, when you start turning this nut, it might turn together with the ball joint as they normally do. So we have a place to counter hold it. Looks like Allen bit, so we might stick Allen key in here and remove this nut. First we're gonna lubricate it with a WD-40. After cleaning this up, it appears to be not Allen but spline, which is like this 6mm spline bit. So we're gonna break it loose first with a 16mm socket, and then we're gonna use spanner and counter hold with this one. So I'm gonna use a ratchet and socket first, 16mm, and oh, it was quite easy. But as we expect, it starts turning together with the ball joint. And that's why we're gonna use counter hold and the spanner. Make sure it goes in properly. You can even tap it with a hammer. And then we'll start turning. There we go. Now it's the same process on this end. First we break it loose. Same story as the ball joint. This bushing starts turning together with the middle bit. Counter hold it. What we can do as well, few taps with the hammer to get it in properly. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn it and remove the nut. One more thing I need to mention, in case if the middle bit breaks, sometimes, you know, old rusty bolts or something, the only way is a grinder. So you take a grinder and just cut this nut and then it comes out. So unfortunately it's going to be brutal force. Right, what am I doing here? I'm gonna raise suspension arm a little bit just to get rid of pressure, maybe. Also some manuals they ask to raise suspension arm a little bit to align center of the wheel hub to the end of wing at the back. So if we raise it up a little bit, maybe it's gonna be easier to remove. Maybe it's not so necessary, I don't know, but it feels that it's easier to do it this way. We can give it a few taps with a hammer. just to take it out. There we go. Don't lose this bit because we're gonna reuse it because new link doesn't come with it. Then we take our new link. Don't go for the cheapest brand. This one is pretty cool. TRW. Cheaper, they don't last very long. Trust me on this one. So we compare old to the new. And it's exactly the same. Comes with a new bolt, with the new nut, but for some reason it didn't come with this new one. But nevertheless, we just insert it. There we go. Now we have to, should we go up a little bit? Yes, you see? To make it aligned, I've just raised it a little bit. So there is no pressure before we tight everything. We're gonna keep it that way to tighten nuts on both sides. I am surprised actually with TRW, which is the best, like they class as a dealership choice for VW parts, and they don't come with a new stud here and a new nut. So we're gonna reuse old ones here, and a new nut comes on that side. Or maybe somebody took it out of the box before it got to me. You never know. Anyway, TRW is a good brand. One more thing I want to mention, that the new TRW nut is 15mm, not 16, so it's worth mentioning, because if you use 16mm spanner on it, you can damage it maybe. So make sure you use correct spanners, tools. On a TRW it's Allen bit inside, not the spline, so just make sure you use correct tools, that's all. Anyway, it's just all done in a reverse sequence. Keep jack here till you tighten this before, so you don't put pressure on threaded bits, and then once it's all nice and tight, put it, take the jack off, put the wheel back on, and just lower the car. Job done. That's so easy. More stuff about this car and some other cars, see my website wheelsandmotors.com. I have lots on VW Sharan. I have almost everything you may need, and it keeps topping up. Mobile friendly, you can print it out in PDF if you're willing. So all links in description.